What's up, friends and fam? I had to jump on. A little frustrated. You might be watching this video live, or you might be watching this video later. But I gotta express what I think is really going on in America. The craziest thing, I'm just gonna jump right into it. You guys can catch the replay. The craziest thing as it relates to the killing of Rayshard Brooks. Killing, murder, it is what it is. Officer Garrett Rolfe, or Ralph, however you pronounce his name, along with Officer Devin Brosnan. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Horrible is no excuse for it. I'm sorry. So we're seeing that within 11 charges. What disgusted me the most, because I know what you're gonna say, this guy, he resisted arrest. I get it. Maybe there was immaturity there. Could have just went to jail, etc. But then when you look at the actual charges, what you're finding out, I watched the whole hour and 25 minutes this morning of the actual body cam from the officer. The officer never told him why he was arrested. He said, "I think you had too much to drink." That's it. Okay. Should have resisted arrest. I'm not pushing to anybody to resist arrest. Definitely not saying that. Evidently the man's running away, and I know what you're gonna say. Well, he fired back. He was firing with a taser. He took off running first. After being fired at, he uses what he has. No justification, but evidently it's a taser. For many of you who know, who have a taser, it is not considered a lethal weapon. Get that. It is not considered a lethal weapon. You've already patted Rayshard Brooks down. You're shooting him. He shoots the man in the back twice. Not along with other bullets that recklessly hit other cars and almost killed other people in the drive-thru at Wendy's. Okay, if that wasn't enough, then I find out today that he kicks the man while he's dying. So what are we kicking dead men now? We're taught in the third grade, you don't kick a man when he's down. What are we doing, America? Whether you want to say this is white supremacy, whether you want to say this is one rotten apple, it's horrible. And what we're basically seeing with them Brosnan and Ralph, or basically I'll call them Officer Garrett and Devin, is a polarity of two different worlds. When I watched the video, one Officer Devin, tries to stop Officer Garrett. He tries to handle it a different way. There has been a 41-minute dialogue before they try to arrest him. 41 minutes. Just go watch the body cam. I guess Officer Garrett was trying to get some type of badge. It was about winning for him to trick the guy into going to jail for DUI. Rayshard looked like he had something to drink. He admitted that. Looks like he was tipsy. He admitted that. He offered to walk. So therefore, it was not even about getting him home safe or the officer getting home safe. It was about who's going to win. This is a power control, ladies and gentlemen. This officer, I don't even feel right calling him an officer. I know many police officers. This guy shoots a man in the back at least twice. Shoots other cars in the drive-thru at Wendy's. We're talking about Rayshard Brooks, Atlanta, Georgia. Reckless. When you shoot him, he's dying or dead. Instead of rendering aid immediately, you kick him and say, "I got him." While you kick him, the other officer, Officer Brosnan, Officer Devin Brosnan, then stands on his shoulder So we kick him and we stand on his shoulder. What is he, a dead pig? Is he a deer? Is he a rabbit? Is he a buck? Is he a doe? Is he a moose? Many on the line, you hunt. I know what it's like to hunt. What are we doing? And respectfully, to me, this speaks to a lot of, I get in trouble sometimes by my African-American brothers and sisters because I try to balance it out. But to be candid with you, you're seeing a polarity of two different worlds. It's not all white people. I'm not here to say that. One officer who is Caucasian who tries to do the right thing, the other one does not. In this season, we must take those who are trying to do right and unite with them. It is evident that we need police reform. Anybody disagreeing with that? Something might be wrong. It is evident that we need police reform. A taser is not equivalent to a gun. You don't shoot somebody twice in the back and then kick them while they are dead and say, I got him, while your partner stands on his shoulder. For the first time, probably in American history, in this aspect, will another officer be able to testify against the other officer. For the first time, Officer Devin Brosnan is not admitting that he's guilty, but he's willing to testify against his partner because he knows that what he did was wrong. This is it's electrifying, it's horrible, it's putrid, it's foul, it's vitriol. I don't even have the words to articulate how I feel. I almost feel like throwing up. My wife and I were watching it live in the car. I couldn't even eat all of my food. I've got a meeting here in about a few minutes. A very important meeting. But I had to stop outside to get this off my chest. This is horrible. All of my Caucasian friends, you know I love you, you know how we get down. I grew up with a lot of Caucasian friends. I got a lot of friends, Hispanic friends. This is not another case of he shouldn't have resisted. This has nothing to do with that. The man could have made it home alive. There is no law that says if you run from the police, you deserve to be shot. Show me where that is a policy. If you run from the police and you're scared, because not only have you seen so many black unarmed men and women killed, you're afraid yourself. Is that a law? Is that a rule? I'm just asking you. If so, please inform me. If that's a law, if that's a rule, I'll repent. I'll take this video down. This is the time for us to really unite. There is only one people. It's the American people. Well, entire world. I love the world. I just favor America. We all bleed red. But it's tough not to say that we typically don't see we typically don't see white people running from the police done like this. I've got several different videos where my white brothers and sisters have fought the police at mass levels and went home alive. And what you don't know is that I'm having to talk to hundreds. I'm trying to keep from crying right now. I talk to hundreds of men on a daily, almost a daily basis, but at least on a weekly basis. Several hundred men. I lead our men's ministry at the church, and I know men all across the country. I know men all across the world, to be candid with you. Do you know how many men are afraid? 6'4", 6'5", 6'8", 7 feet. Big men, 200, 300, 400 pounds. Do you know how many black men that are afraid for their lives? I've got 4 sons, 4 boys. What do I tell my wife? All of us have to have the talk with our African-American sons. I've got my Caucasian brothers, my Caucasian fathers. They're having to have the talk with their sons who are adopted. They're having to talk. You know what the talk is? Say yes, sir. Say no, sir. Even if the officer's wrong, just do whatever they tell you to do so you can make it home alive. These are my white fathers having to tell me that they've had to have the talk with their sons. Yeah, who they've adopted, who are black. Some of them are Nigerian, some of them are just black in general. They're having to have the talk with their sons. The talk is make it home alive. It's not just sons. It's daughters too. See, for those of you who are saying, oh, it's just one One rotten apple. Really? One? It's more than one. You know how many families I've had to sit down and talk to? You know how many funerals I've gone to? What do you say to a family? Yeah, we preach God. We preach Jesus. Yes, we're going to pray comfort and strength, and may the Holy Ghost wrap his loving arms around them. And we're going to preach amazing, inspirational, motivational eulogies. But at the end of the day, those families go home with a hole in their heart. Some of the toughest deaths to ever overcome are those who have lost children. Just ask anybody who's lost a child. Rayshard Brooks, it was his daughter's, I believe it was her 8th birthday. She will always have to remember, my father was shot, gunned down, twice in the back. In the back. Not up front, in the back, and kicked. And they stood on my father's body and his shoulders, and he couldn't move as he's suffering asphyxia and all type of hypovolemic shock. Because can you imagine the blood that's coming through his throat while he's gasping for air and then dying? And then they decide 2.5 minutes later, after trying to cover themselves by grabbing the casings that were recklessly shot all across the parking lot of Wendy's in Atlanta, Georgia, then they finally called for aid. I watched the entire hour and 25 minutes of the body cam. I was with the father. I won't even mention his name. I was with the father several months ago. I was at his house to comfort him when he got the call. His son had already been killed by the police, and his son was actually getting his 2nd degree in criminal justice. Really? He gets killed by the police? I'm there at his house when he receives the call to say, man, it is not what they said. They said it was, one shot of this shot, and it's like 5 shots. What are we covering up here? As long as we cover up dead things, foul things, racist things, evil things, it's only going to make it worse. I'll close with this. I said I had a meeting. I was supposed to jump in the shower. I may be late for the meeting. It's just on my heart. I'm in the neighborhood. I'm blessed to live in a real good neighborhood. This is a park. You see all these trees behind me? Underneath these trees are dirt, and every tree has a root. In order for the tree to grow properly, they have to dig down deep in the dirt to remove the rocks. Make sure that there are no moles or snakes and worms and so on and so forth. To implement soil and what I would call fertile ground so that the trees can grow up properly. I'm suggesting that America has to redig its root. I'm suggesting. Thank you, my friend. I see you on here. Thank you, Jennifer. How many more have to die? See, this movement is not a black movement. It's not a white movement. It's not a Hispanic movement. It's not an Asian movement. It's not a Jamaican movement. Not a Polish movement. It's not a German and Italian movement. This is an American movement because today it is somebody else's son, but tomorrow it could be your son. Unfortunately, some officers are out of control, and we got to put a stop to it. I'm all for community engagement. I love our officers. I appreciate the way some of them protect us. But at this juncture, we need strong police reform if we're going to rebuild America. We have got to rebuild America. No more deaths, no more shootings. It's kill porn. It's kill porn. What do you think our children and our children's children will grow up thinking and have in their hearts if they keep seeing these killings on video? What do you think we're building? What do you think we're creating? What kind of trees are we harvesting? In fact, what will be the fruit of the trees? I suggest a better America. I really suggest a better America. Criminal justice reform needed. Better police training needed. Police reform needed. Healthcare needed. Education needed. Economic development needed. Voting, please make sure you vote. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not even an independent. A lot of times I'm trying to look face value at what people bring to the table. But if you're bringing to the table status quo, that's kids killed, keep our kids from coming home, I won't vote for you. Anyways, I love y'all. Wow, I love y'all. All my Caucasian friends, you know how I feel about you. It's one love. This Vince Dobbins from the from the block. Black and white, baby. Odessa Permian, number 11. Football, basketball, track. We're good. All my Hispanic friends, you know how we get down. From tacos to chorizo to so on and so forth. My black brothers and sisters, you know how we get down. It's all love. This is not a hate video. This is a video for us to unite. I'm frustrated. I'm sad. I'm shocked. I'm disappointed. I'm confused. See, before we get to anger, the first thing you feel is not anger, it's hurt. I'm hurt beyond measure that we refuse to grow up and make the world a better place for our children. If you commit to making the world a better place for our children, if I said something that's worth this salt, share this video. Tag other people's names in this video. I think in some weird way, I keep thinking in some weird way, we're going to change America. I keep thinking in some weird way, there might be justice. I keep thinking in some weird way, finally, an officer will be charged and convicted properly. I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be inspirational, but it's up to you. It's what you do in your family and the family next door. It's what you do at church. It's what you do if you're watching in your mosque. It's what you do at your corporate company. It's what you do as an employee or an employer. We've got to unite. No, I'm not for looting. No, I'm not for burning things down. I understand it, but I'm not saying that it is the right thing. We must unite by putting pen to paper or putting fingers to keyboards. We've got to unite with legislation. If you're a Republican, hey, listen, be a Republican. Just make sure you stand up for police reform. You Democrat, be whatever you want to be. Just do the right thing. And let's all agree, we got to get these black boys home. Jesus, we got to get these black boys and girls home. They're not making it home safe. It's horrible. It's horrible. I had kids early. I got a 27-year-old son. Rayshard Brooks was 27. Are you hearing me? Anyways, I love you. I did the best I could. I got to run. Try to keep my day job. Love y'all. Love, peace, and blessings. Let's hope for a better America and a better world.